Pretty big development from the South Carolina primary was former Florida Governor Jeb Bush dropping out of the race, raising this big question. Where will his supporters and all that campaign cash go? Bush had a pretty powerful super PAC behind him, one that spent millions and millions of dollars in ads, but none of that seemed to help.
Jeb, who's a very, very decent guy, clearly was very badly served by this PAC, and it clearly failed to do its job. And it just strikes me that it's odd that there is no public accountability, not a legal malpractice, but no public accountability of any kind for the people who wasted that much money. The biggest super PACs we've seen this year have not been successful. Money, it turns out, is not the decisive factor.
Cruz is the Fox News digital politics editor and the author of Fox News First, and he joins me now. It's interesting, Chris, to see Newt Gingrich's perspective, and this is sort of percolating out there right now. All these millions and millions of dollars that were spent, and Gingrich says, look, there's some sort of a public accountability here. What do you think?
Well, look, there is such a thing in politics as not enough money. That definitely, we have seen candidates and campaigns fail because they did not have enough money. But I think to the former speaker's point, we now have evidence that there is no such thing as enough money to make a bad candidate or a unlikely candidate win. You cannot buy an election. You can try, but you can't do it.
All right, let's take a look at just how many millions we're talking about. Super PAC spending. $215 million so far on ads. $9 million, or just around 4% only, spent on attacking the frontrunner on the GOP side, Donald Trump. That's quite an amazing story, Chris, and I really think that's been an undertold story. And the big question is why? Why are the candidates, the other ones, not using money to attack Donald Trump?
Because they all believed that he would evaporate on his own, that somehow he was going to go away, that there would be a fizzle or a bust, and they weren't going to worry about him, they were going to worry about each other. And I think going forward, you will see that Rubio and Cruz, which is the final pairing, the final showdown for the last one, which will come on the 1st or on the 15th of March, when it'll be one of them versus Donald Trump in the final matchup, I think you'll see them focus on each other. But I suspect that number about super PAC ads attacking Trump is going to go up, 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 up. Whatever money might be left in the tank for Jeb Bush's super PAC and other places. Now that the field is cleared out and Rubio is shaping up to be the anti-Trump favorite, I think you will start to see a lot of momentum moving in that direction.
Okay, so let me ask you quickly. The money that's left over in the Jeb Bush super PAC, that stays there, but they can choose to use it to help another candidate?
Right. The way that these super PACs work is you can give an unlimited sum of money and they can spend it on whatever they want.
Okay.
Now, they have a board there that decides how they're going to pay it. Now, they can choose to give back any funds that are left over, but I think probably a lot of donors would rather see it come to some good end rather than just this bust of an effort it's been. If they could actually land some blows on Donald Trump and do something there, the Republican Party, those in the Republican Party opposed to Trump probably would express some gratitude for what has otherwise been a debacle.
Okay, let's take a look now. Special edition of our 2016 Presidential Power Index today, focusing only on the GOP in Nevada, and it finds Donald Trump in the lead, followed by Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz. Governor John Kasich and Dr. Ben Carson at the bottom of the smaller PAC now, Chris, than when we started.
It's getting easier, right, to keep track. We don't have so many to keep track of now. Donald Trump should win in Nevada. He should win by a big margin. Now, the danger for him, these are caucuses. You have to be there for a longer period of time, and it's only open to Republicans. Donald Trump's success in South Carolina and New Hampshire, where he won by stout margins, that depended on a lot of Democrats, a lot of independents coming over, in South Carolina at least, Democrats and independents coming over to help bolster his numbers with Republicans. He can't do that in Nevada, where it's a closed caucus, but you'd have to think he's going to do very well. But I also think Rubio is probably going to have a pretty good night as he faces off with Ted Cruz, again, in that final pairing to see who's the last guy to go up against Donald Trump. Yeah,
a lot of people forget that Marco Rubio lived the first 6 years or so of his life in Nevada, so he may have a bigger following there. Chris Stirewalt, great to see you. See you next week.
You bet.